My girlfriend said, "You are not invited." I replied, "Then I am leaving." Then I canceled the ring, packed my life into boxes, left her apartment, and I just watched as one coffee with her ex erased our future and showed where I ranked in her life. Best Reddit story. I am Jake, 29 years old. I work as a project manager at a tech startup, and until recently I lived in a downtown 2-bedroom with my girlfriend, Melissa. We had been together for 4 years, since college. On paper, it looked like we were headed toward the next step. Last Saturday started as just another slow weekend morning. I was on the couch with my coffee, scrolling my phone. The apartment was quiet and familiar. Melissa came out of the bedroom already dressed, which was the first small thing that felt off. On Saturdays, she usually stayed in sweatpants until noon. This time she was in a navy dress, makeup done in that careful way that looks effortless but is not. She checked herself in the hallway mirror, adjusting her hair, smoothing the dress. "You look nice," I said. "Going somewhere?" She kept her eyes on the mirror. "Just meeting someone for coffee," she said, like it was no big deal. Something in her tone felt too casual. Sometimes people sound extra relaxed when they are hiding tension. "Cool, who with?" I asked. She grabbed her purse. "Ryan. He texted me yesterday. He is in town for the weekend." Ryan, her ex before me, the one with the corporate job and the Audi. The one she once described as emotionally cold and obsessed with his image. "Ryan," I repeated, "your ex Ryan." "Yeah," she said, now looking down at her phone, already typing. "We are just catching up. It has been years." I set my phone down. "So we are meeting him," I said. This was the moment she could have reassured me. She could have said yes, of course, or suggested we all go together. That is what you do when you are a team. She looked up at me with a flat expression, just a hint of annoyance that I was even asking. "It is just coffee. We are catching up," she said. She paused. "You are not invited." The room went quiet. Those 3 words just sat there between us. You are not invited. Not "it is just friends." Not "come if you want." Just a clear, deliberate exclusion. Sometimes disrespect is not loud, it is simple. "Understood," I said. It came out calm and final. She seemed almost surprised I did not argue. After a second she turned, said a quick goodbye and left. The door clicked shut. The apartment suddenly felt bigger and empty. I sat there in the silence and reached for my wallet. Inside was the receipt from the jeweler across from my office. Custom engagement ring. White gold, small diamond, simple and classic, exactly what she had always said she wanted. I had been saving for 8 months. I had made the final payment on Thursday. The plan was to pick the ring up that day and propose that night over dinner at her favorite Italian place. I stared at the receipt, then I called the jeweler. "Hi, this is Jake Morrison. I have an order ready for pickup. Order number 4782. I need to cancel and process a refund." The woman on the phone sounded kind. "Of course, sir. The refund will go back to your original card. The deposit portion will be available within 48 hours, the rest in 3 to 5 business days." "Thank you," I said and hung up. I sat for another minute, then stood up and went to the bedroom. I pulled my suitcase from the closet and started packing my clothes. Shirts, jeans, shoes. The process felt almost mechanical. No yelling, no drama, just decisions. Everything that was clearly mine went into boxes. My books, my laptop, the headphones I bought, personal papers. The things we bought together, the TV, the couch, the kitchen stuff, the furniture, I left. Her name was on the lease. She could keep all of it. It took about 3 hours. I made several trips down to my car, filling the trunk and back seat. While I worked, I texted my friend Chris, who lived 20 minutes away, and asked if I could crash at his place for a while. "Of course," he replied almost instantly. "You okay?" "I will explain later," I wrote. By the time I finished, the apartment looked different, not empty but missing my presence. I did one last walk through to be sure I had everything. Then I sat back on the couch with the last box at my feet and waited. Melissa came home around 6. I heard the key in the lock, the door opening, her humming under her breath. She stepped inside, then froze when she saw the suitcase and boxes. "Hey," she said, her smile dropping. "What are you doing?" "How was coffee?" I asked. "It was fine. Why are you packed?" "We are done," I said. She stared at me. "What, because I had coffee with Ryan? You are being insane." "You are right," I said. "You said it was just coffee. I am just moving out." "You cannot be serious." I stood and picked up the last box. "Your name is on the lease. You can keep everything. I took what is mine." She followed me to the door. "Jake, stop. Can we just talk about this?" "There is nothing to talk about," I said. 4 years and you are just leaving." "You told me this morning I was not invited to your life," I said. "I am just accepting that." I walked out. She did not follow me to the car. Chris helped me carry everything up to his place, waited until we were sitting on his couch with beers before he asked, "So, what happened?" I told him about the dress, the coffee, the words, "You are not invited," and the ring, all of it. "You were going to propose tonight," he said. "Yeah, and she went to see her ex instead. She said it was just coffee." Chris shook his head. "Man, that is a huge line to cross." My phone buzzed with text from Melissa. First confusion, then anger. I did not respond. The strange thing was, I was not even furious. I felt empty, like my decision had already been made the moment she excluded me. Before I went to sleep on Chris's couch, I blocked her number. The next morning, an unknown number called. I almost declined, but I answered. "Jake, why did you block me?" Melissa said. "We need to talk." "There is nothing to talk about," I said. "You are being irrational. I had coffee with an old friend and you are acting like I cheated." "Did you?" I asked. "What? No, it was just coffee." "Okay, I am glad you had a good time. We are still done. You cannot just end 4 years over this." "I am not ending it over coffee," I said. "I am ending it because you told me very clearly that I was not part of your plans. You chose to exclude me. I'm just respecting that choice permanently." There was a pause. "So, you are really not going to talk to me?" she asked. "Melissa, what do you want me to say?" "That I am fine with you meeting your ex alone and telling me I am not invited. It was not a date." "Then why was I not welcome?" I asked. She had no answer. I could hear her breathing, trying to find words. "I need to go," I said. "Wait, Jake." I hung up and blocked that number too. Over the next few days, more unknown numbers called, all her. I blocked them as they came, then her friends started. Her old roommate Alice sent a long text about how I was being cruel, how Melissa was devastated, how I owed her a conversation. I did not reply. Her best friend Amanda called. I answered because Amanda had always been straightforward with me. "Jake, what is going on?" she asked. "Melissa says you freaked out because she had coffee with Ryan and moved out." "That is part of it," I said. "Did she tell you the exact words she used?" "She said you overreacted." "She told me I was not invited," I said. "Word for word." Amanda was quiet. "She said that," she asked. "You are not invited." "Yes." "That is not great," Amanda admitted, "but still, 4 years, you two were solid. Is there really no way to work through this?" "I was going to propose that night," I said. "I had the ring, I had reservations. I was ready to ask her to marry me." "Oh," Amanda said softly. "She did not know that." "If she had known, it would not have changed her choice," I said. "She went to test something with her ex without knowing about the proposal. That tells me everything about where I stood." Amanda was quiet for a long moment. "I do not know what to say," she said. "I am sorry, Jake. You do not have to say anything. I just wanted you to know it was not about one coffee." After that, the messages slowed down and then stopped. I thought maybe it was finally over. Work that week was a little blurry. I did my job, but my manager still noticed. "You okay, Morrison?" he asked one day. "You seem distracted." "Just personal stuff," I said. "I am handling it." I was trying to. On Thursday night, while Chris and I were playing video games, I got an email from an address I did not know. The subject line said, "Please read this, Jake." It was from Melissa. She wrote that she had gone to the jeweler. She said she did not know why she went, only that she felt she needed to. They told her I had canceled a ring order the same day she saw Ryan. "You were going to propose, were you not?" her email said. "And I ruined it. I know I did. I understand now why you left. It was not about coffee. It was about me choosing to exclude you when you were about to choose me." She said Ryan texted her once after their coffee and then vanished. She had found out he was just testing if he still had a chance. When she did not respond the way he wanted, he disappeared again. "I threw away 4 years for an ego boost," she wrote. "I am not asking you to come back. I just want you to know I understand what I lost and I have to live with that. I am so sorry." I read it twice. Then I deleted it. Chris noticed my face. "She emailed," he asked. "Yeah, she found out about the ring." "What did she say?" "That she understands now, that she knows what she lost." "How do you feel?" he asked. "Honestly," I said, "more tired than anything. Sometimes closure does not feel like a big moment. It just feels like nothing." The next day, another email came, this one from Ryan, subject line, "We should talk." Over lunch, I opened it. Ryan wrote that the coffee had not been his idea. Melissa had reached out to him a couple of weeks before, saying she wanted to catch up while he was in town for work. At the coffee, she spent most of the time talking about her life and mentioned she was in a serious relationship. He said it felt like she was testing something, seeing if there was still a spark. There was not for him. He told her he was seeing someone else and had moved on years ago. He had not contacted her after because he did not feel any reason to. "I heard from a mutual friend that you two broke up," he wrote. "I do not know what happened, but I wanted you to know the coffee was not some big romantic reunion. It was her reaching backward when she should have been looking forward." He was right about that part. I showed the email to Chris. "Are you going to respond?" Chris asked. "No," I said. "There is nothing to say." Knowing that she had initiated the coffee, that she had gone to him while I was planning to propose, did not change my decision. It just confirmed that she was not sure about us. When someone is not sure, it is dangerous to build a future on top of that. The next twist came from work. Monday morning, my manager called me into his office. Sitting there was Jennifer from HR. I did not know until that moment she was Melissa's cousin. "Jake, concerns have been raised about your conduct," my manager said. "What concerns?" I asked. Jennifer opened a folder. "We have received a complaint that you have been harassing an ex-partner," she said. "Making threats, refusing to communicate, creating a hostile situation." I stared at her. "From Melissa?" I asked. "Your cousin." "The relationship between us is not relevant," she replied. "We are required to investigate all complaints." "I have not contacted Melissa once since I moved out," I said. "I blocked her on everything. She is the one calling from different numbers. She is the one sending people after me. I can show you." My manager looked uncomfortable. "Can you provide those?" he asked. I pulled out my phone and showed them everything. The call logs, the unknown numbers, the messages from her friends, the email timestamps, all of it. Jennifer's face shifted as she scrolled. "This still needs a proper investigation," she said, but her voice had less force. "Fine," I said, "but I want it on record that this complaint comes from your cousin, who I am not in contact with, and that I have already provided evidence that her claims are not accurate." My manager nodded. "Jennifer, I think we need to recuse you from this case," he said. "We will bring someone in from the other office." "That is not necessary," she said. "It is," he replied. I left the meeting angry in a way I had not been before. It is one thing to lose a relationship. It is another to have someone try to mess with your livelihood. I called Amanda that afternoon. "Did you know Melissa filed a harassment complaint against me at work?" I asked. "What? No," Amanda said. "Jake, I am so sorry. I did not know she would do that. That is too far." "Can you talk to her?" I asked. "Tell her to stop. I just want to move on." "I will try," she said. "I cannot promise she will listen." That night I sat at Chris's table and went through every call, every text, every email. I wrote down dates, times, what was said. If it ever became a legal fight, I wanted my side clear. On Wednesday, a different HR person called me. They said the complaint was unfounded, that they found no evidence of harassment, and that they had noted the conflict of interest with Jennifer. They apologized for the stress and told me to report any future issues. That part finally ended. A few days later, I went out with Chris and some friends to a bar downtown. For the first time in weeks, I felt almost normal watching the game, drinking a beer, laughing a little. Then Melissa walked in with Amanda and another friend. She saw me right away and came over. Her face looked tired. Her eyes were a little red. "Jake," she said, "can we talk?" "No," I said, "please, just 5 minutes. I know I hurt you, but 4 years has to mean something." "It did," I said, past tense. "So that is it, you just gave up on us." "You gave up when you told me I was not invited," I said. "I just believed you." She shook her head, eyes filling with tears. "I made a mistake, one mistake, and you throw everything away." "It was not one mistake," I said. "It was a series of choices. You chose to reach out to your ex. You chose to meet him alone. You chose to tell me I was not invited. Those are decisions." "I did not know you were going to propose," she said quietly. "Would it have changed anything in that moment?" I asked. "Would you have chosen differently if you had known I had a ring?" She did not answer. "Exactly," I said. "You were not sure." "I am not going to beg someone who is not sure to choose me." She stood there for a few more seconds, then walked back to her friends. Amanda gave me a small, sad look as they left. For a moment, I felt a pang of guilt. Then my mind replayed that morning on the couch, those words again. "You are not invited." Sometimes, remembering the full picture keeps you from rewriting history to make yourself the villain. In the months that followed, the noise faded. At work, Jennifer eventually transferred to another department. My manager apologized for how the complaint was handled and said they were setting better rules for conflict cases. I got promoted to senior project manager. He told me I had handled a difficult situation with a lot of maturity. At home, I started to rebuild. I stayed with Chris for a couple of months. He let me crash rent-free, never once complaining about his space being taken over. I owe him more than I can ever explain. I found a small one-bedroom closer to the office and signed the lease. It felt strange buying my own dishes, my own couch, my own bed without anyone else's opinion. Strange but good. The ring refund hit my account after a few weeks. I put most of it into savings. It did not feel right to turn it into a vacation or a toy. It was money meant for a future that no longer existed. Amanda texted me once to say Melissa had moved back in with her parents and started therapy. I told her I hoped Melissa did the work and got better, but that I could not be part of that. I went on a date with someone a friend introduced me to. It was fine. We talked, we laughed a little. There was no pressure. We might see each other again. We might not. I am not racing toward anything. Here is what I have realized. Respect is not a bonus you earn after years together. It is the starting point. The moment someone shows you they do not respect you or your place in their life, it does not matter how long you have been together or how many plans you made. If they can easily make you small, you have to decide whether you are willing to live that way. I miss some things. The comfortable Saturdays, sharing coffee on the couch, sending random texts during the day. But over time, those memories feel less like something I lost and more like something that needed to end. Now, when I think about Melissa, it feels like remembering a story I heard a long time ago. I remember the plot, but I am not in it anymore. I do not regret leaving. I regret that she made the choices she did. I regret that it turned out this way. But I do not regret the moment I decided my self-respect was worth more than a proposal. Lesson 1. When someone tells you you are not invited into an important part of their life, listen to them the first time. Lesson 2. Respect is not something you fight for. It is the minimum. If you have to beg for it, the relationship is already broken. Lesson 3. Reaching back to an ex while your partner is planning a future with you is not confusion. It is a clear sign they are not all in. Lesson 4. You are allowed to walk away quietly when someone shows you where you stand. You do not owe them a long performance of suffering. Lesson 5. The right partner will not make you feel foolish for wanting to be included. They will assume you are part of the picture. What about you? If your partner told you that you were not invited to meet their ex for coffee, would you stay and try to fix it or leave like I did? And have you ever had a moment where one sentence told you everything you needed to know about a relationship?